Hello, hobby friends, and welcome to another episode of Hobby Talk. My name is David Baez, and in today's episode, I'm delighted to welcome back Kurt Christensen to Hobby Talk to talk to us a little bit about some updates, some things going on with rippingvintagepacks.com, some really exciting stuff, and just to kind of feel out what's going on in the market in the last, let's call it, few months. So, Kurt, welcome back to Hobby Talk. How are you?
David, man, how you doing? I'm doing good myself. Always a pleasure to be here talking cards.
Yeah, man, I always look forward to these moments, and right out of the gate, let's talk about RVP. I've seen some exciting stuff going on, and I was hoping you could share, with the viewers some of the new and exciting things going on with you. So, talk a little bit about your site and some of the new services you're offering.
Okay, well, as you know, the big new service that I'm offering. Probably here the last. I don't know if I started here in 1st of February, but I'm now doing authentication on. I would say not everything, but a vast majority of unopened wax boxes across all sports: football, baseball, basketball, hockey, non-sport. So that's been a big rollout, and I'm sure we'll get into it more later. But I've been almost overwhelmed with the response to it so far.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, a lot of folks that are watching this and that are well tuned in the world of unopened are aware of everything that's going on with the in our world of authentication, with PSA and even with our good hobby friends over at Baseball Card Exchange and their backlogs and authentication is hot right now, and it's good to have trusted sources. And of course, Kurt, I've said it to you offline, I'll say it now online. I speak for a lot of us. You are, for us, a very, very trusted source, and happy, or we're ecstatic to have you as well, neck deep in our 80s material and taking good care of us. So that's awesome news, man. I have to ask you in terms of, what you're seeing. Can you give us a little insight on what type of products you've been authenticating and what you've been doing?
Yeah, I will, and I appreciate the kind words there. And just to reiterate from people that may not be familiar with where we've been with RVP authentication, it was a little over a year ago. I started the FASC authentication, and I guess hindsight's always 2020. This was never the goal. The goal was always to authenticate and sell my own product. Now having flash forward, maybe 18 months, and we're in this backlog and we're in this boom in unopened and all of this stuff. I mean, I just think to myself how justified that move was. And I try to think, wow, if I had to be waiting on my own product to be getting, authenticated, I'm not sure how I would function my website and my day-to-day operations. So that I'm glad I made that move. That was never the intention of the move. I had no idea what was going to happen. Steve's always treated me well, and he still treats me well. I've got racks and stuff at BBCE right
Yeah.
now. But hindsight was, well, I was glad I did that. Flash forward to a couple months ago, for years I've always sold raw product, through the breaks, boxes, and I just found myself, I was always checking stuff to begin with. I didn't want to send out a bad box to somebody. And it just got to the point, it was, I'm already doing all the work. More of the work is involved in, authenticating than the time it takes to wrap the box.
Right.
And I'm just like, God, I'm already spending all this time looking through all of my product to make sure, in my opinion, I'm giving out good product. So it
Right.
just did. I could come up with a reason to not wrap my own product. Again, the intention there was to wrap my own product. You knew you'd get some submissions from friends and people, but is never the intention was let's just start an authentication wing. It was always to sell my product. Again, now flash forward, and we're in this unbelievable backlog, craze, whatever the word is, of authentication. And yeah, I can't say I'm being bombarded, but I'm definitely getting way more submissions than I would have anticipated. And they're coming from sources where I would have not have anticipated. I would have anticipated, people I know, yourself, other guys on the page, that sending me stuff here or there. I'm getting phone calls almost daily. I'm getting emails daily. I just had a guy drive up from Ohio on Sunday with over 100 boxes. I have another guy
Wow.
shipping in a pallet of stuff. These are people I have no idea who they are, but they found the website. So I
Yeah.
mean, I was not anticipating this at all.
Yeah. It's a testament to, what we've been kind of talking about, not just in this interview, but in other interviews, right? About the trend in the hobby, the larger base. There's more people buying than ever. And authentication to me has, and will always be key, because anybody who's dialed into this hobby knows that unfortunately there's a lot of bad product out there. So, if we're going to be spending premiums to relive our childhood and buy, certain products that we love, right? If, you want to make sure to the best of your ability that it's authentic products. So, yeah, I can't imagine that dying down anytime soon for you, Kurt. Not to, not to make things more challenging for you, but I could only see that trending north.
Well, yeah, in the immediate short term, I mean, I know from just the phone calls and emails what's incoming, and it's not dying down in the short term. To try to answer that, finish that previous question, what am I seeing the most of? It's probably not news to anybody, but how I've set this up is I want to authenticate product that I'm well versed in. I'm not comfortable putting my RVP wrap on products that I don't feel, I've looked at it enough.
Yeah.
So somebody calls me up with a 71 tops box, I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
But the product that I'm seeing is stuff that, I'm well versed in. I would say, I'm seeing a ton of the 86 Donruses, 87 Donruses,
Mhm.
81, 2, 3, 4, 5 tops products, mainly baseball, a ton of 89 Fleer basketball, 90 Fleer basketball, a lot of non-sports. God, I love the non-sports. And I'm, I'm always a huge non-sport fan, so I've been looking at non-sport packs for years. So
Yeah.
that's the, typical stuff I'm seeing. Of course, I've done a few late 70s stuff, 78, 79 tops baseball. I think I've done a 78 football box. But, the majority is in that, well, what we would expect.
Right.
There's more product of it out there, 86, 87 Donruss, 87 tops, those types of issues.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, even just looking at your rips and the sites and just some of the most popular product that's been out there right now in the boom, it really lends itself to like that mid 80s to like early 90s time period, depending if it's baseball or basketball, right? But that window, yeah, to your point, I mean, it's really important to be very well versed in it, right? Because the more boxes you see, the more packs you open on your weekly rips, the more in tune you are with how it's supposed to be packaged, how it looks, and you're giving right what the customer ultimately wants, right? Which is just that reassurance that what they're buying is a legit product. So that's good. I like to hear what you said there with that 71 example, because that was kind of like one of my other questions to you is, what do you do if somebody calls you, right, with something you're not so comfortable or well versed in, which you answered already. And I think a lot of us viewers, a lot of us collectors are happy to hear that you're not ashamed to admit, hey, I'm not well versed on something. Nothing wrong with that. That adds more confidence and more trustworthiness to you and what you're doing.
Yeah. And, I've tried to stick to that, throughout the years. And I'm glad you reiterated a point I wanted to bring up. In the short amount of time that I've been doing the authentication of all boxes, you are right. The more you handle something, the more you see it, the easier it becomes to know what you look for. And I'm already a better authenticator than I was, 3 months ago. and you just, the knowledge and stuff you pick up from looking at it is really key. And
Yeah.
I just really enjoy that part of it, because every time you look at a box, it's a learning experience, and you can
Right.
process that information and file it away. So then, yeah, I'm not, somebody calls me up with a 71 tops box. No, I don't want to authenticate it right now. Would I be
Yeah.
comfortable looking at that box and making an educated purchase myself? Possibly. But the more and more times you do these things, well, you get more versed in
Right.
certain areas. But I've said no to a lot of people on various things for various reasons.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I have a wheelhouse, and it. You see the stuff I rip, on the website. Those type of products that I've been seeing through my hands on a daily basis for years and years and years, those are the type of products that, yeah, I say yes to when somebody wants to submit those.
Right. Right. That's great. And again, there's, to me, like, no questions asked. And then a lot of people, you see it with the influx of orders coming in. The confidence level is totally there. So I'm happy that you're doing it. At the same time, I know it's a lot of work. I can imagine right now that, it's with everything else you're doing, that it's another slice in the pie of your time, if you will. So, I wanted to ask, I'll segue right into the next question I have for you, which is, what's your like turnaround time right now? Typically, if somebody was to send a box to you right now for authentication.
Um, yeah, great question. I get asked that almost every single phone call or email. I, as it's stood the last 3 months since I've been doing it, I would say average turnaround is between 24 to 48 hours. And somebody like myself, I've been self-employed my whole life on the farm, RVP, etc. When I get an order, I can't, I just get this pain numbing feeling through me. I have to get it done. I hate having stuff sit up and pile up, because I always know, God, the next day I have to do this. The next day I have to do this. My list never shrinks. I know
Yeah.
what the list is, and it's always growing. So when I get an order, I might stay up till 10 o'clock at night, or I might stay up till 11 o'clock, or whenever, to get it done.
Yeah.
So my turnaround time has been real quick. The first 3 months. I'm going to be moving into a season here, though, on the farm, and I've been telling people this. I'm not going to be able to hit 24 hours on a turnaround time, and it's
Yeah.
not because I'm buried in product. It's because I got other responsibilities, and I'm
You're
also
buried
be
in
moving
something
into.
else.
Well, yeah, we can imagine. So you know, I do my best. I'm not one to say, well, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's time to go, sit on the couch. I'll stay up, and I'll put the time in to get the product
Mhm.
done and done well. But turnaround times will vary according to basically the farm schedule. And I have
Yeah.
no problem. I've already told people this through emails and phone calls. Look, can you put this off? If you need it done in 2 days, you can't send it right now. I says, I can't guarantee it's going to get done.
Yeah. No, and that's good. Look, at the end of the day, I think most of us collectors are very, let's call it patient. I mean, and especially even before the boom, with not knocking, the PSAs of the world, they have a lot of stuff coming in, but even for years we've kind of become conditioned to that wait. If the service is good, Kurt, we're a lot of us are willing, to wait because the quality is worth it. So I think, for me, I mean, as you're inevitably evolving that authentication part of your business, I would honestly say, like, and it's totally understandable having your farm, career as well, your farm business, that it's going to be something that everybody would understand, that you come back and say, hey, this is peak season. It's going to take a couple weeks, whatever the case is. So as long as we know our product's in good hands, no problem, right? Um,
So
so
yeah, and you are right, because when I've told that to people on the phone and emails, most people are understanding. Most people
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have an issue with that. And there's also been a couple people that says, God, I really need it done. And I says, look, if you need it done
yeah.
within a certain percent of time period, I says, no offense, but I says, please don't send me 88 genres. Make it something good, and I will get it done. But I need to know, and I'm very specific telling people that. And most people don't,
Yeah.
will work with you as well.
So no 90s hoops, no 88 Donruss, no
So
first
if
series
you need
Alf.
it done yeah, if you need it done in 24 hours, and I've been on the farm for 16 hours, I'm not going to spend that 17th hour on 88 dollars.
I guess I should just cancel my order now then.
Yeah.
Oh, too funny. So we outside, so let's talk a little bit about the services you already have, right now on the site, like the actual purchase, the rips, not to, get off, but I was just curious a little bit in terms of what you've been seeing since we've last spoken about this, Kurt. Any upticks there, anything stabilizing, or have you even seen downward trends on purchases of certain products or product types, or even on the rips, if maybe something that was being bought more is being bought less now? Just curious on hearing, the expert side of this, on what you're seeing.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, I'm testing my memory here, but I'm guessing we talked last time about RVP, sometime last year. So, we've have for the updates, we have an entire January, February, March, time for period we're talking about, and
Yeah, that's about right. Yep.
website activity. Yep. Okay. So, you go to rippingvintagepacks.com and you have a store section of the website. That's all unopened product. You buy stuff from the store, it gets sent unopened, sealed. And then there's a live break section. That's what we do on our YouTube channel. So on the store section, I've seen an absolute flood of purchases in the January, February, March range of this year. And I mean flood. I mean, I got to the point where I was limiting stock on items, not because I didn't want to sell it, because I couldn't process it. The orders were coming in that fast. And it was through, you've seen
Wow.
my site, 80s and 90s material, mainly baseball, because that's what I
Yeah.
carry the most of. But also, if I had football or basketball, it was selling as well. But I mean, there just was so many orders coming through. It was almost overwhelming. You pile that on top of the authentication and other things, and I got nobody else, here to help me with it.
Yeah.
It was, God, I got to do something here. So I started limiting stock. Not because I didn't want to sell it, is because I could only process so much of it.
Yeah. God, I could imagine. That's I'm not surprised by your answer.
To finish that thought, though, here in the since April, maybe the last week of March, I would say I've probably seen a reduction in sales volume. Try to put a percentage on it. Hard to put a percentage on, because some product I just sold out of, I'm not offering anymore. So that might play
Hmm.
into it as well. But I have seen a reduction in sales
Okay.
now. Not a shortage or a stoppage by any mean, but I saw this huge boom in sales January, February, 1st of March, and I would say maybe the reduction is back to a level that I'm more used to seeing.
Yeah. And I still think it's yeah, it couldn't continue to grow at the rate it was. I think eventually it had to stabilize a little bit, but I'm interested to see, Kurt, where the next 3 to 6 months go. Will it do one of these, like it stabilize and then start trending north again, or will it kind of just plateau for a long period? I honestly think it'll be the first scenario. Just based on what we're seeing out there. But curious, what do you think? Do you think that the next 6-12 months will spike? More obviously more of an opinion based question, but what's your take on where you see things going in the next few months?
Wow. And that's just right. This is going to be my own opinion, not really based on
Yeah.
anything. But you look over since I've been in the unopened market, not even before the RVP days, just buying product to collect. Typically, when we see a dip or a reduction in unopened prices, and I agree, the run up we had in January, February was far too much, too fast. The reduction we've seen, I don't think we're going back to January levels. We're going to be somewhere in between.
Yeah.
However, to go back, like I was saying, when we have seen a reduction in unopened or a dip, it usually doesn't last very long. And you're back on then that trend of slow and steady, appreciation, or at least steady demand and values for product. That's just my opinion of what we're going to see. We're going to figure out where this leveling off is. For example, we'll pick a product, because I was talking to somebody about it today. 81 Topps basketball box. In January, that was a $3,500 retail box. It spiked all the way up in, I'm guessing end of February, to $12,000 a box. And since that point, we've seen tick, 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 tick down, with the last 3 sales of BBC wrap boxes at $7,400, $6,900, and last night at $6,400. Are we seeing that go back to $3,500? I do not think so. Is it going to stay at 6,000 or 7,000? 5,000? We may not know where that is, but I think we're going to see that leveling off, and let's just say it's going to be 6,000. So we went from a 3,500 box to 12 to 6. Now, if it levels at 6, then I think you might, stay on that, stabilize, trajectory up a little bit. I think that's the key thing people forget. And we've seen the comments. Oh my God, these boxes were selling for so much and now they're this. We're losing all this money. Well, seasoned collectors, 93 SP box baseball. It was a $4,000 box in January. It ran up to 17,000. Now I don't know if it's 9 or 10,000. Well, of course, if you bought at 16,000 and it's 10 now, you're upset. If you had $4,000 boxes and it is 17 and it's 10, you may be like, dang, maybe I should have sold, but man, it's still $10,000. That's a big gain.
I totally agree with you. I think the collector that's in it for the long term, from a value standpoint, there's nothing to worry about. We've seen these patterns of stability or market correction, or and then all of a sudden then another boom comes for whatever reason. A certain player gets inducted to Hall of Fame or anything. There's just been some buzz about that product or a certain player in that series, and then it starts going up again. So for the folks that were, let's call it, looking to flip or do that quick, if you bought on the high, you're in a, if that's your thing, you're in a tough spot right now. But for most of us collectors that we're in this for the long haul, no problem.
So and that's part of the hobby. That's how it goes. People try to play the market. I deal with that also in farming, cattle market, grain markets, the same way. I will just say this, another portion of RVP is, of course, buying collections, buying product. I've never had a more difficult time in the months of say February, March, of trying to purchase product and purchase collections. I don't even know how many collections I got called about, emailed about, trying to purchase, and some really good collections. And, but we were right in the middle of all this stuff going up. One prime example, 92 Topps basketball Series 2 boxer with the Shaq rookie. These things in January were $225, $250 boxes. They went all the way up to $1,000 boxes. And then they've come, I haven't looked in the last few days, but I think they've come to $400 or under. And I had a guy with an excellent collection. And this guy had sealed cases of 92 Topps basketball, and among other things, it was a large collection. But he really wanted to know what I was going to pay for those boxes. And I says, man, I says, do not yell at me. Do not get upset with me. I says, if you're looking for and you think these things are going to stay at $1,000, I says, we can't be talking. I says, I'm probably only willing to pay $300 a box. And of course, I got just, he was upset with me. Well,
Yeah.
4 weeks later, they're not much more than $300 a box.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to tell these guys that. I says, look, this or an 88 Fleer basketball box. Yeah, it might be selling for $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 now. But if I get it, I says, I don't have any buyers for that box at that price. I don't know what I can do with it. And I says, it was incredibly challenging. And I said no to a lot of deals that had an incredible amount of product, just, for various reasons. And a lot of them due to this huge run up. And I didn't know where to be. And, those guys wanted the upward trend. And I told those guys, look, if you want that stuff, get on eBay right now and get rid of it.
Yeah. I don't envy you during those months, because it had to be so difficult for you to try to price product for customers, to throw a realistic price to somebody who's looking to sell their collection to you. I mean, you were navigating some wacky waters there for a few months. I don't even know how you did it, buddy.
It was really painful. And I just hate, when you get a collection offered to you, outside of, this wacky last couple months, I would say I've probably close to closed every deal that's been, brought to me. And during those 2 months, I'm not sure I hardly closed anything.
Right.
But the one thing, like you said, like I try to do on the other end. So when I'm offering product, I don't like, and I don't want to be known for the person that what's a box I can think of? Well, 90 Fleer basketball, popular product, a lot of it out there. That stuff ran up to $400 or $500 a box, and I got a lot of it, like a lot of people do. I'm not going to be that person that, oh my God, it's going up. Let's go put all my boxes on the website for $500 a box. Or if it's 89 Upper Deck, let's go throw all my 89 Upper Deck for $1,200 a box, because we see this 1 week spike. Or we saw the 87 O-Pee-Chee. We saw the 80 Topps baseball, and I got a ton of it. I'm not going to be the person that lists that product for $10,000, begging somebody to buy it. So a lot of that stuff, I took it out of stock when it was going crazy. And it was just, I want to be comfortable when I put it out, that I don't have somebody calling me 4 months later or 4 weeks later, dude, this box is worth half of what I paid you for it. So I took a lot of product down just because I didn't know what was going on. And I wasn't comfortable, putting a price tag on some of it. Now I have a little more confidence in where I think some of this stuff is, that I've slowly started putting some of that product back on the website that I think is, a more accurate price point. But guys that follow my website all the time have noticed that I was pulling product just because I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah. Kurt, I will say, man, it's, as a collector, it's really comforting, right? To hear, you've always, in previous interviews and just talking with you offline, I've always, made it known to all of us, that you are a collector at heart. Obviously, you have a business and you do a great job with your business and all your services. Excuse me, but you're a collector at heart, and there's no better way to demonstrate that with the example you just gave before, about how you were in a really weird situation where you felt like, well, something's not right here, so let me just wait and try to figure this out. Because I mean, last thing somebody wants to do, right, is hurt a collector, and all of a sudden they're paying double the amount. Now they have this box, and it's like, well, like you said, you don't want to get that call. That's a weird call to get, and So I just wanted to commend you on that. I like hearing stuff like that because it shows that you're dialed into the collector as well. You know, we all know it's a business, but to have that dotted line, if you will, and understand the collector side of things is a massive thumbs up from me, and I'm sure from a lot of other folks.
So, well, I appreciate it. And I threw out that 80 tops example because maybe it was my luck, maybe it wasn't, but I had an 80 wax box on the website probably first of end of February range. I think it had it at 47.50. And a friend of mine drove to Spencer to buy the box. And
Oh,
we
really?
arranged the sale, and he bought it from me. Literally a week later, one sells for 7,000. Another week later, it was 10, 11. And,
Wow.
he called me. He says, man, that's what he said to me. He says, do you want your box back? And he said,
Wow.
I didn't know if these were going to go up that high. And I told him, I says, man, I says, you bought it. We agreed on a price. It's yours. But I says, I don't think,
Yeah.
I believe some of this stuff. And I says, I got some others, but I said, I'm going to wait. And,
Yeah.
sure enough, that came down. But just like you said, I want to have the guys that keep coming back to you. I want repeat, customers. So,
Yeah.
wasn't just the selling end, it goes in the buying end as well. But when stuff's going nuts and I don't know what's going on, I'm probably just pulling everything back
Yeah.
and hitting a pause button.
Yeah, well, like I said before, well done on that, and I think it's definitely the right thing to do. You know, during those wacky times. So, Kurt, I think to me, I'm excited to see what you're doing with the site. The new service with authentication looks great. I've seen some of the pictures that people have posted. Happy customers, if you will, and I think it's great. It's been fun watching how things have evolved for you in the last few years with your business, and honestly, I continue to wish you well with this endeavor and this project, and hopefully you have plenty of storage space for all of our product in the next few months and even years down the road here.
Well, I've got some space ironed out, and I think you'll continue to see what I do evolve, maybe evolve to more services, probably at times evolve to less services, and constantly be this evolving project just due to my other needs. If we have a couple minutes, there are guys that
Of course.
constantly ask what my various labels and services are now for RVP since I got more than FASC. So
Mhm.
just quick for guys out
Yeah, of
there
course, go
wanting to
for
know,
it.
traded sets. We do RVP, me, whatever you want to say. I do wrap traded sets. I will wrap them two ways. I will wrap FASC traded sets. FASC traded sets are going to get a from a seal case sticker and the hologram sticker with the code that matches up to the case. So I wrap FASC sets, and I will also wrap factory tape and tack sets. They will get the tape and tack sticker as well. I will not wrap loose sets. Not because I really don't want to, is because frankly, I do not have time to be going through people's sets and confirming card condition or whatever. I just don't. So I apologize
Yeah.
for the guys that want that. I just can't do it. So tape and tacked and FASC traded sets are a go. On the boxes, we all know this one because I've had this one for a long time. This is the from a sealed case. You can see it right on the label. This box is from a sealed case, and the hologram has the code as well. These are the standard FASC boxes. This is an 83 Fleer wax box. This service is always available. I've had this one as well. This is the tape and tack. You can see it there in the label. This box is factory tape and tack, and the hologram says tape and tack. So O-Pee-Chee boxes, if they're factory tape and tack, this is what you will get. There's non-sport ones as well. There are some sets that I will wrap as well. I got somebody sending me some 85 Topps baseball factory sets. So those fall into that tape and tack category. And then the new label looks like this. It says this box is authentic unopened with the authentic unopened hologram. And that means that all 36 packs, or if it's 24 packs, or however many packs reside in that box, I've inspected and I'm giving my opinion that I think they are all untampered with legit packs. I'm not making an assumption or a guarantee that they're original to the box, just that, in my opinion, that they are not tampered with. So those are the three labels. You got the FASC, tape and tacked, and authentic unopened. So I've had that question a lot. So it's clearly written on the labels, not even my amazing handwriting. It is printed on the labels what they are.
Hey, Kurt, I mean, I thought it was kind of cool that you just showed them my latest order that I just did earlier this morning.
You need that Masters of the Universe box.
So that is that's the first time I've ever seen that box. That is some cool artwork. I was actually talking about that OPG box though. That's some great stuff, buddy. But no, that's great, and I thank you for explaining the differences, and you're right. I mean, I have seen a couple of posts here and there from folks that did with especially with the traded sets, just to try to understand the points of differentiation. So that's good, and I agree with you, by the way, on the whole not touching the loose ones for many reasons. I mean, time is an important one, of course, but I won't get into the other ones. But I think it's better the tape and tack, purse, and the Fasc. I think is the way to go for a lot of us. So great stuff, buddy. Before I let you go, is there anything else you want to talk about regarding any services or anything going on with you or the site?
Yeah, just the general update that I give out every year in a few time periods. I'm moving into spring planting season on the farm. Authentication submissions will be delayed. There will likely be a RIPS that may not happen. I just, the time will not be as much. So I always say, stay tuned to my Facebook page, because that's where you will find the weekly updates or the day-to-day updates on authentication or a break, or say maybe a break was going to be Thursday and I got rain. Hey, let's do the break Tuesday. Mm-hmm. We're doing it right now. Or I planned it on this date and I have to do a repair job, and look, I can't do it. So stay to the Facebook page. That's where you'll find this season updates, and because it gets kind of funky through planting season. I have new cattle coming in here soon too, and I just got more moving parts that a lot of times what's planned one day, it's got to change. So the Facebook page will have all the up-to-date info on what I can and cannot do for RVP in the moment.
Perfect. Well, I can't thank you enough as always. It's always great having you on the show, Kurt. Thanks for the updates and for keeping, for being one of the most important pieces to us in the unopened world. We appreciate everything you're doing for the hobby, buddy.
Thanks, Dave. It's a pleasure as always.
All right. We'll talk soon.
We'll see you.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. Please click on the like and subscribe button. Just a couple quick updates. We are officially live on iTunes, Google, as well as Spotify for our podcast. Go to HobbyNetworkGroup.com for more details and links. Thanks for watching today's video and have a great day. Bye.